Hey everybody, it's John. It is Monday again, and today we are on Live Fire Monday. We're here at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale. Really grateful to them for letting us use their range. And today I want to work on recoil control, and I'm going to show you whether you're using your sights or if you are using a tool like the Mantis X, how you can see how your grip pressure changes the way that the gun recoils. So let's talk about it. There are live fire training tools and dry fire training tools. Mantis X is the only one that does both. It will change the way you shoot for the better. It has helped me immensely. Okay, so let's think about the recoil impulse real quick. If I have this gun in one hand, what's going to happen is wherever the gun is not supported, the gun is going to tend to move in that direction. So here I have the gun in my left hand because I'm a left-handed shooter, and so that gun will tend to move up and right if it's not supported. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to show you, you can see this. It might be a little hard. I'll show you kind of behind the camera as well. I'm going to put this the gun in front of the camera and let you see that. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually have my Mantis X unit that is live, and so it can track that for us. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to record this at the same time. So now that I'm recording, what I'm going to do is just show you that with one hand on the gun, what we're going to see here is as I drive this gun out. Now, again, I'm gripping this gun pretty well, but watch what happens as the gun recoils. Is that you notice that it went straight, but you notice it's over to the right because that's where the gun tends to go. So again, if I press it, what it tends to do is you can see in that recoil right there in that second shot, notice that the recoil is just to the right a little bit. And what that's going to do is show you that, hey, guess what? If you're not controlling that side of the gun tends to recoil. Now, I do tend to try real hard to get it straight up and down, so it's not bad. What you can see if you don't support the gun real well, so here's a shot that I'm not supporting the gun real well on that side, and you see not only did I push to the right, then you can see a real bend on there. Okay, that's what happens when you don't grip the gun real well. Now, if I put a second hand on the gun, watch what happens here on the Mantis. As I put a second hand on the gun will start tracking a little bit. Now, interestingly, what happened there is I started pulling the gun over to my right because I put a second hand on it. So you can actually see it come this way and out. Now, watch what happens when I really dig in and I grip the gun like crazy. Now, I'm really gripping that gun with my pinkies as hard as I can, gripping left and right with my other hand. And what you see there is you see it come straight up and actually just a little bit to the left. Now, interestingly here is you can see it, right? You can see it right on the Mantis, and it shows you exactly what it's doing. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is the easiest way to see because now I can adjust my grip pressure. So now I go, okay, if I grip just a little bit much there and that made it go just a little bit left, did that do a little bit better? And actually looks like it did do a little bit better there. To me, tracked right back to the center. So what you can do is use a tool like this if you want to get a little bit more feedback. Now, what if you don't have a tool like that? Well, if you're a red dot shooter, you already get feedback like this all the time, and that because you can track the dot as it moves up and down in the window. If what you see is the dot going and back like this, now you know which way your recoil is going, and you need to support that side a little bit more. If the dot's running over to the other side, you need to support that side a little bit more. You can do this with your front sight as well. So if you're an iron shooter, and I get it, most of us are, you can do this as well. It's just a little bit harder. So again, if I start to adjust kind of how my grip is, so here's an interesting thing. If I keep this pinky off, right? Watch what happens to my recoil impulse when I have such a hard time doing this now, that my pinky is off the gun, and you can see what happened to my recoil there. You see that it moved up and to the right. I'm not trying to make it do that. It just goes that way when I don't support the gun in the way that is best. So I get my grip up nice and high. I get a good left-right pressure with my support hand, good front-back pressure with my dominant hand, and now you see how straight up and down my recoil impulse is. So you can see the dot here. Now let's watch what happens. Again, if I don't have a Mantis X unit, and instead I'm just relying either on my dot or my front sight. So you can see both of those here in the window. So if I am, watch the track here. If I am unsupported, so this is an unsupported shot here, you can see the dot. It's kind of hard to do this looking through the viewfinder on my camera. But watch the dot track up, and I'm putting pressure on that right side to keep it from doing that. But if I do, see how it tracks up and right. You saw that track up and right. And that's really beyond dispute. I'm not trying to make it do that, but if you watch what happens, you see it track up and right like that. That's what it's going to do. So now when I put a second hand on the gun, I'm not gripping real hard with my support hand right now. So watch, it's going to control that somewhat. So I'm really not gripping all that much, but watch what happens. Now it starts tracking. But did you notice here that in the window, the dot went slightly up and right? Okay, I can see that. Now I got to grab that dot again, and I'm going to grip like crazy with my right hand right now. So I'm gripping pretty hard with my right hand. Watch what the dot does, and you see it lock back there, but you see it's tracked much more straight. So this is how you track your recoil control, because what you really want in the gun is you want the gun tracking straight up and down. You want that muzzle to rise, come right back where it is. You don't want it squiggling all over the place. You want it up and then back down. And you can use a tool like the Mantis X that will give you objective feedback while you do this so that you can see how it's going. If you don't have a Mantis X, then you track this using either your dot or your front sight to see what's it doing. Now you notice here in this one, there's just one other thing, is that I'm not shooting at the target. If you notice, I'm just shooting into the berm right now. We have targets, but I'm not shooting into them. And the reason is I don't care in this drill where the shot is going. I'm not really watching for where the dot is aimed. I'm not watching where my front sight is aimed. What I'm trying to see is that when I break the shot, what's the muzzle doing, and am I controlling that recoil? Driving that dot out there, seeing it, feeling my sights on target, got everything there. Okay, cool. Got all my other mechanics good. Got a good grip, got just a little bit of flex in my elbows, got my posture good, got my head up, everything's good. Now just watch and see what does that do when the shot breaks. If it tracks straight up and down, comes right back to its spot, now I'm doing the right thing. Now that might take me a few magazines to start to feel that, but once I feel it, now I can just practice it. Okay, can I see the dot do what I want it to do? And I can, and once I'm tracking that dot straight up and down and it comes back to the right spot, now I am controlling this gun like I want to, and now I can focus on the other things because I can shoot fast and accurate. So this week, try that. Really kind of get a feel for where's that dot going, where is that front sight going, and make sure that whatever grip pressure you're putting on it, I may need to put a little bit more on the left if it's moving that way, a little bit more on the right if it's moving that way. If the gun's jumping all over the place, I need to grip it more firmly. Got other videos on that. But in doing so, now I can minimize the movement of my front sight and get fast and accurate shots on target, and that's a great drill for you this week.